5 years ago, I was down to my last $300, and the country whose economy has completely collapsed. Today, I'm one of the alpha traders, sharing my setups live with an international community of people who refuse to stay average. I didn't have a finance degree. I didn't even know what a candlestick was. So if trading really came down to money or a degree, I'd still be broke. It came down to one thing: to make the difference between a skill and a gamble. And almost nobody gets told about that. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is to differentiate between guessing where the market is going and reading what's already showing you. And I will hand you the first tool to make that so you can start from today. But you need to see where I started, because if I could figure this out from there, the thing stopping you is so much smaller than you think. Maybe you have opened a trading chart and you just felt lost. Candles, lines, numbers, and none of it meant anything. Maybe you tried to learn this once and quietly walked away figuring it was for people smarter than you. Or maybe someone told you the thing everyone says, that trading is just gambling. I know that feeling. I lived in it longer than I'd like to admit. Because when I started, I was exactly that lost. I'd sit in front of a screen. I didn't understand anything. Numbers moving, candles forming, and no idea what any of it meant. And the stakes were real. Lebanon was in collapse. Currency was worthless. And the whole idea of a job, of stability, of a safe path, it was disappearing in front of everyone I knew. I needed a way out that was real. But I made one decision early that I know now. It did save me years. I didn't try to teach myself of random videos, and I didn't hand my money to some stranger online who was selling signals. I walked straight into a room of traders, and even there it was hard. I'd sit in those live sessions watching traders read setups, and I couldn't understand anything yet, quietly wondering if I was just the slow one in that room. And one night I closed the laptop. I thought, maybe this isn't for people like me. That thought is more dangerous than it sounds, because it's not really about trading. When you tell yourself this isn't for people like me, you are not talking about a chart. You are deciding what's allowed in your life, what you get to reach for, and what you quietly give up on. And I almost gave up on it. Talked myself back into the small, safe version of my life, the one with a ceiling I could already feel. But before I quit, I asked one question: why do most people lose at this? Because most people do lose. That's not me being dramatic. Regulators force brokers to print it on their own websites. Around 7 out of 10 people who try trading lose money. Some studies put it closer to 9 out of 10. And everyone assumes it's because the game is rigid, or it's luck, or you have to be some kind of a genius. It's none of that. People lose because they treat trading like a bet. They guess, they follow signals they don't understand, they copy trades from a bot that never tell them why. That's not trading, that's gambling with just extra steps. And when it goes wrong, they say trading doesn't work. But that's not what happened. They just never learned the actual skill. Because that's what it is, a skill. Like anything real, it has tools, rules, and a learning curve. And like anything real, anyone willing to put the time and effort can learn it. I'm proof of that. I started with nothing. No finance background, no more than $300, just the right room, and a decision to actually learn this instead of faking it with someone else's signal. But learning costs, not just money, time, pride, and confidence. There was a stretch where every loss was teaching me something I didn't want to hear. One week, everything I thought I understood just stopped working. And that thought came straight back. Maybe you are not built for this. Maybe some people can see what's happening in a chart, and some people just can't. Maybe you are the second kind. That was the closest I ever came to quitting for good. What saved me wasn't a strategy, it was a session. One of those daily life sessions watching my mentor work through a real trade in real time. And I watched him look at a single candle, explaining exactly what the market was doing and why. Then I watched the market do exactly what he said, not because he guessed right, because he read it. And that was the first time I saw it. The thing I'd been missing the whole time. I had been trying to predict the market. He was reading it. Predicting is just hoping with confidence. Reading is a skill. One of them is gambling, and the other is trading. That's the answer. If trading feels like gambling, it's because you are trying to predict instead of read. So, how do you actually make that switch? For me, it came down to three things, and all three happened before I ever made consistent money. The first one, I treated it like a skill, not a gamble. And that sounds obvious, but almost nobody gets it. The whole industry is built to sell you the opposite: automations, signals, and bots that promise to do the thinking so you never have to learn. That's the trap. Because the day the bot fails, and it will, you will be left with nothing. No skill, no understanding, no way to adapt. So I did the boring thing. I learned the real tools, and I started with the most basic one: how to read a candle, what the market is telling me. And that first tool is exactly what I want to give you right now. I put everything I learned about reading candles in a short free guide. It's called the Entry Protocol. It's a free. Find the link in the description. The second thing, which is, I never tried to learn this alone. This is where most people quietly lose. They learn alone, they lose alone, and they quit alone. And nobody ever knew how close they were to winning. From my first day, I was in a room with real traders, live, reading the same market, calling the same setups, holding each other accountable. Not only copying, but watching, asking, learning to see what they see. The market doesn't care how smart you are. It punishes ego and rewards discipline. And discipline is harder to build by yourself. The community wasn't a bonus, it was the backbone. And the third thing that took me the longest is the reason two people can look at the exact same chart. One of them builds wealth, while the other blows up accounts. It's what I told you at the very beginning. Reading instead of predicting. Predicting is ego. It says, I know what happens. Reading is humble. It says, the market is telling me something. Let me understand what. The moment I stopped trying to be right and started trying to read accurately, everything got quieter, less emotion, and cleaner decisions. My losses got smaller because I understood what's wrong. My winners get cleaner as I understood why I was right. That's when I stopped reacting to the market and I started working with it. And this is when I became one of the alpha traders. Not because I got lucky, because I finally had the skill. So here's what I want you to do this week. Open your favorite chart. Watch the candles form. Watch how the price reacts around strong levels. Watch what happens next. And just read it without taking anything. So if trading feels like gambling, then you are trying to predict the market. Winners read it. That's the whole difference. It's not a secret. It's not an indicator. It's not a gift you are born with. It's a skill. And a skill can be learned by anyone willing to do the work. One more thing before you go. If someone you care about is about to throw their money at a bot, a signal, or some stranger promising guaranteed wins, send them this video. You might save them months of losses. Maybe their life savings. Right now, you have got two versions of yourself in front of you. The one who decides this is for people who are smarter than me, who are lucky enough. And the one who decides I'm going to learn and read this by myself. I was the first one. I chose to become the second. That choice is yours to take right now. You already feel the difference between trading and guessing. The entry protocol is in the description. The 4 candles that end the guessing and the one rule that makes them work. Read it and find one of those candles on a real chart tonight. Then tell me if it still looks like gambling. And if you want more than just better trades, subscribe and turn on the bell, because every video on this channel is built for one reason: helping you tap into the best version of yourself. The version who stopped settling and started fighting for the life you used to dream about. Miss that? And a year from now, you could be standing in the exact same place, wondering what would have happened if I started. Or you make one decision right now, and something in you shifts. The fire you let go cold starts to burn again, and you become the person you've been waiting for this whole time. This is the Phoenix Movement. Now it's your time to rise.